So, Michael Trescothick, we've been looking through the vaults recently, and we thought we'd have a look at your first class century for Somerset. What of the game do you remember before looking at the scorecard?
Yeah, well, fascinating to look at it. Obviously, great memories for myself. Obviously, getting my first 100, and at Bath as well, because obviously that's my closest to my home ground where I was brought up and played all my junior cricket. Parents were there. Quite a number of friends. I remember in the evening going back to the Keynsham Cricket Club and celebrated with a lot of the teammates and friends from that place. But I'm just looking through it here. I didn't realise I got 36 in the first innings. Well, Mark Lathwell got 206. I do remember that, and other people along the way. And then in the second innings, I opened the batting with Neil Mallender. So they must have just chucked me in, because it would have been, well, go on, youngster, get in there and do your job. But it's fascinating to look back on it and try and remember little things that happened.
You mentioned Mark Lathwell's double 100 there. He was quite the player, wasn't he?
Brilliant player. And I think a lot of people were looking upon it that we could have been quite a formidable opening partnership for a long period of time. We would have done it for a number of years, and obviously when Mark was off playing for England, I would have been around doing it then, and then vice versa. I think he probably just missed the time that I sort of took over playing with England. But a lot of good friends and memories that come from it. But Lathers in particular was the one player that really stood out that people thought was going to be fantastic.
Bath as well, it's a special place for Somerset cricket. How important was it for you playing a first class match for Somerset at Bath?
Well, very special, because being such a close ground to where I sort of grew up and played my cricket sort of before I played for Somerset. And Bath was brilliant. It was just always had that atmosphere about it. The festival grounds were always good fun. And we played at Bath. We also played at Weston, were the two grounds that I played festival cricket at for Somerset. But Bath in particular, you used to walk along from the hotel, walk along the river in the morning into the Rec, and join up in obviously the little clubhouse that they had there. It was run down at that point, and having played there for probably another 10-15 years after I started, it was pretty derelict by the end of it. But it always had special memory, because it was such a special place, and it always had that special feeling that everybody from the club enjoyed going to.
I mean, if you look at the scorecard, it's a bit of a dream situation, isn't it? It's Surrey, it's your first 100, it's at Bath. Is it one of the highlights of your career?
Of course it is, yeah. When I think you have special milestones that you like to sort of tick off. Obviously, getting your first 100 in a first class game is pretty special. Maybe a double 100, then maybe playing for England, and then certain things that come along. But I think you always remember your first one very fondly, And the same when I played with England, my first 100 in Sri Lanka, the same sort of time, and I think that was 121 or 122, one or the other. But it's good when you sort of get time to sort of look back on the scorecards, because there's many things that you tend to forget about it, and look at the players that were playing at that time, players that would have been playing on the opposition. I was looking at Mark Butcher. Obviously, I work quite closely with Mark now when I do some punditry with Sky. So very interesting to see.
It was a strong Surrey side as well.
Yeah, it is. Well, they were a good side back then, weren't they? They were very, very strong. Always pushing for sort of championships and doing various different things. Graham Thorpe, another name in there, I work quite closely with the coaching, having played with both of them also. So, yeah, Surrey, as we say, were a very good team. I remember facing some of the bowlers, Joey Benjamin, Cameron Cuffey, were the two guys that you really remember.
Now, you mentioned that you opened the batting with Neil Mallender, which is probably something you didn't do very often. What are your memories of that second innings?
I don't remember anything of it, clearly, because I've just read it on here, that I can see it here, obviously got my innings. And the number 2 is Neil Mallender. Now, Ghosty is now one of the umpires, and always had a very good relationship with Ghost. Obviously, when he played here for the first few seasons of my career, and obviously then he finished his time and went on to playing umpiring, or doing umpiring, and we've seen each other a lot during that time. So always a good friend, always nice to catch up with him. It's probably the only time I opened the batting with him.
Can you remember what it felt like to get that first 3-figure first-class score for your county?
Well, it was an immense feeling, because it's you strive so much to get into the team, let alone sort of trying to succeed and do well, to think how far you can go and what you can achieve. But for me, the special part was obviously being at Bath with my friends and family there, watching and then celebrating with them back at Keynsham Cricket Club.
And of course, a first-class century is something to celebrate, but also a comprehensive win over a team like Surrey as well.
Did we win?
You did. Cause for everyone to
well, there you go. That just sums up how much I've forgotten all about it, doesn't it? But Yeah, of course it is. I think you're right. I think when somebody's going to get 200 in the first innings, we got 428 in the first innings. We're always going to be in a pretty dominant position from that point of view. And obviously then it was pretty special. Who got wickets? Graham Rose, mixture of people. Andrew Caddick wasn't played. He must have been injured at that time, but a lot of good players in there.
And a lot of fond memories from that time in your career?
Yeah, they were interesting because you're sort of growing up and trying to find your way, as many of the young lads are here now, and I'm the shoe on the other foot trying to help them. But you go through rough spells because you're trying to understand what goes on, how to be a professional cricketer, how to be a good professional cricketer also. So you've got to try and find your feet and work it all out. But I reckon, with the way it is nowadays, it's probably slightly easier because of the resources and the quality of people that are in the ranks here. Also coming through the academy would have been very much a help for people, but yeah, really interesting. Did
you feel pressure once you'd reached that 100 to then go on and do it
I had
regularly?
no idea. It was 27 years ago, wasn't it? Was it 26 years ago? So I have no idea, but there's no doubt that you have various pressure going into every game and every season because you want to succeed, and when you're sort of 18, 19, you want to show everyone how good you are, but somehow you've got to try and relieve the pressure, and the best way to do it is succeed and do well.